Hi all, this is Allmighty and welcome to this video. So in this video, we're going to cover another game from the candidates, since it is a rest day in the candidates and it is a last rest day, so there are only 2 more rounds to go, and those will be definitely a really good 2 rounds, because as you all know, at the moment we have 5 players in the first 5 places with only half a point between them. So I'm just going to show you this video today, and I'm really hoping that we are going to have very good games for the last 2 rounds. I'll just recap. In first place, surprisingly maybe to most of the people, is Sergei Karyakin. Yesterday he won such a beautiful game against Fabiano Caruana, given an exchange in the middle game and just having that little advantage that he kind of pushed and pushed and pushed, and in the end he managed to execute exceptionally and just win the game. So that was some top grandmaster level of play, and I'm really glad that Sergey managed to win that game and actually showed that he is not a guy to be taken lightly, even though myself as well took him lightly after the beginning of the tournament, when he was kind of in the last place and also or second to last place, and I was just not really hoping to see too much from him. But I was wrong. I admit it. I was just dead wrong. And Caruana is in second place with also 7 points. And then we have Ding Liren with 6.5. Very good for Ding. So his first win yesterday against Mamedyarov, a very good win that I showed already on my channel. I'm just so happy for Ding because he really deserves it. In fourth place we have the thug that is Alexander Grishchuk, the funniest guy to watch after the game in the conference. You should definitely check out all of his conferences. They are pretty fun to watch. And in fifth place we have Mamedyarov, the guy who kind of pays for his sins of not playing the chess that he is supposed to play. So active chess, not play for draws and everything. But okay, those are the current standings, and we have after that Kramnik and these 2 guys. So Wesley and Levon Aronian kind of not anymore running for the first place, because essentially the tournament is over for them and they are pretty much aware of it. Now the only thing they can do maybe mess up some plans for one of the top players, but they cannot essentially win. So because of that, I wanted to pay tribute to them, because candidates aren't like any other tournament. So the candidates contains, so as you can see, probably the 8th, not okay, by general opinion, the 8 strongest players, except Magnus Carlsen at the moment. And the thing is, with a tournament such as this, you can only one can be first and somebody has to be last. But that doesn't mean that the last person is the weakest person, because I think that if this tournament plays again, for example, a week after it ends, and maybe the players are all rested, that you would have a totally different standings. Probably Levon could also even be in the top half of the leaderboard. So this is also a video to pay tribute to them, because essentially, as you all know, they are really strong players and they play really good games. It's just as it happens that this tournament isn't theirs, but that doesn't mean that we won't see him again next year, and maybe one of them will actually win the candidates and then challenge somebody for the World Championship title. But without further ado, let me just show you this game. So this game was played in a Sinquefield Cup in 2015, and we have D4 knight to F6, C4 and E6. So once again, my apologies, I'm a bit sick. I hope you hear me good. I will try to push through. I hope I will get better soon so that I can make normal videos or something. Bishop to B4 and F3. So we have seen the Nimzo-Indian already in the candidates, but the Kmoch variation, I don't think so. I was really glad when I saw the Kmoch variation actually for the first time, because I really like to play these systems where you can essentially play G4 and H4 at some moment if black goes to kingside castle, and go for that kinds of attacks, like bishop to E3, queen to D2, something that you would play, for example, against the Pirts, or you would play against the Sicilian Dragon. But the immediate problem is that there is a pawn already pushed from C2 to C4, and the main idea in the Pirts and the Sicilian Dragon, you should go queenside castle, right? And here maybe it isn't really possible because, yeah, the queen side is already a bit open. I would sacrifice with a6 b5 right away without thinking if white actually goes to queenside castle. So those are the ideas, and here we have c5 by Aronian striking immediately in the center because f3 wasn't really a move that goes for it. It was more of a preparation move. So Aronian strikes in the center right away, and we have d5 castles. And now I will let you ponder, does d6 actually, I mean, it is a move. It's not like black can take it right away. Also, the queen is defending it. But is it actually worth it? Yeah, it's difficult to say. I mean, you're kind of blocking off the black's position. He will feel uncomfortable there for a moment, but he can very easily go out of it. So I don't want to go into that variation as well. We'll just continue with e4, what Wesley played. Now we have d6, stopping d6 altogether, and we have knight to e2. So yeah, also a problem of this knight. Usually in the King's Indian and Benoni, we would have knight to f3, and after exchanges on d5, c would take on d5, and then knight to d2 and knight to c4 seems like a really good idea because there is always this d6 pawn which is weak. So this is something that yeah, white would actually go for, but in the Kmoch variation, this knight is actually kind of problematic. Don't really have a good square to put it, so knight to e2 seems like a logical move. We have a6 and a4, stopping of the b5 move, and bishop to a5. We have bishop to d2 unpinning this knight, e takes on d5 and c takes on d5. So you don't want to take with the e pawn because rook to e8 is then a natural move going on this e file where the king is. The king is still in the center, so yeah, essentially don't want to do it. Knight to h5, and yeah, the problem, I'm not really familiar with this line of the Kmoch variation. Knight to h5 didn't seem like a move that was played from the variation or anything to me, but it kind of stops movement on the f4 square because bishop would like to come here, also the knight, this knight that kind of doesn't make sense for white. And yeah, also there are some ideas. If g4 is pushed, queen to h4. So this is g3 was played by Wesley, so, and we have knight to d7. We have bishop to g2, clearing the path for the king, and now b5. So Aronian is the first one who will strike, and he strikes on the queen side because now clearly white can go on the king side castle, so he wants to take advantage on the queen side right away. If a takes on b5 and a takes on b5, you can't capture the pawn, but if bishop takes, you cannot capture with the queen because the rook will fall. You have to take with the king. And now, in this position, after bishop to a6 and maybe knight d6, queen to b6, yeah, it depends on your taste, because knight can come to f5, so he isn't lost or anything. Queen will capture on b2, but the problem is that actually you have a king on d2 as white. The position is kind of open for him, so yeah, it's mainly your decision. So black is down 2 pawns here. Okay, he will get one back, but yeah, I wouldn't advise you to actually go into this variation. But you're welcome to try it out, maybe in blitz or bullet. Maybe it works for you. So instead of that, we have g4, so focusing the attention on the king side, but Aronian keeps on the queen side with b4 attacking this knight. And now knight to b1 was played, even though taking on h5 was a better move, because now this knight, as you can see, doesn't have a square to go to. We have queen to h4 check. Knight to g3 doesn't make sense because capture, you lose a pawn, and the king still has to move, so king to f1 was played. And now knight to e5. So both of these moves made immediate threats, so Wesley kind of answered to those threats. But knight to e5 doesn't have an immediate threat, rather it's a move that is releasing the bishop, still offering the knight and attacking this f3 pawn. The problem is here that if you take g takes on h5 now, there is this f5 move, and yeah, black is just pushing through, opening up the position. The king is on f1. You definitely don't want to do a move such as this at the moment. First we had bishop to e1, which is correct. The bishop shifts from this side, attacking the queen with the tempo, and he can come to f2. So queen to f6 now, attacking the f3 pawn, and also when the knight takes, this pawn will also be attacked. And now finally we have g takes on h5 by Wesley, and now knight takes on f3. If you capture, then queen captures with a check. So let me just show you quickly. And if you don't, so if you come here, bishop to h3 is a threat and checkmate will follow. And if you cover, then you lose a rook. So definitely something you don't want to do. And also this bishop is a great defender, so bishop to f2 was played, and now bishop to g4, defending the knight, and also now b2 is attacked. Queen to c1 defending, and now knight to d4. An absolute best move in the position because you have a threat of capturing on e2, knight to b3, and knight to d4 was played, which was essential. C takes on d4, and now the c file is open. Rook will come on c file, attack the queen with the tempo, and then he will come on the second or the first rank to actually attack. So we have e5 now, kind of making space for the bishop here, opening up the position, which is kind of strange since you are with a king in the center, so you definitely don't want to do it. But Wesley in this position actually doesn't have anything else to do either. So d takes on e5 and knight to d2. So threatening to jump to e4 maybe, and also to c4, blocking off the c file with b3 then, but it's essentially too late. We have rook to c8. This is a possibility, as I've said, but now e4 and e3 is a threat, and if you capture, the other rook comes on e8 and the e file is open, and Aronian is just pushing through. So here queen to b1 was played instead. First we had b3, knight takes on b3, attacking the bishop, kind of, not really sure the idea behind this b3 move. In the end, bishop to b6 was played, and with the idea of pushing d3, this bishop is pinned, so a5 first, bishop to a7, and now king to g1. You want to move away so that bishop isn't pinned anymore, and we have bishop to f5. So shifting the bishop to e4 and making threats such as d3. The queen is attacked. We have bishop to e4, and after this first, so now d3 was possible right away, but first Aronian plays queen to g5 check, king goes to f1, and queen to f4, and in this position Wesley actually resigned the game. So when I said d3 was possible, now it's definitely a threat. If you take on f5, d3, and you are attacking this bishop, you are threatening checkmate, and rook to c2 is an idea. Bishop to h7 seems like a final trap for black, because if king captures, then there is queen to d3 with check, king g8, and queen g3 actually defends everything. So you don't want to do that. Essentially, after bishop to h7, you play king to h8, and still you have all your threats, and the bishop is attacked. And when queen actually defends, you have rook to c2, and Wesley doesn't have a chance here. So this is probably the main reason why he resigned. There are also a lot of other threats after d3 is pushed, so the bishop isn't defended, as we said, the checkmate here. You don't want to play this position anymore. And this is pretty much it for this game. As you can see, I mean, I don't have to prove to you that Aronian is a very good player just by showing you his strength in this game. So from 3 years ago, and winning in 28 moves against a top grandmaster as Wesley, so shows it enough. And this was just my way of paying tribute to Levon and Wesley in a way, because they are not any more contenders for the first place. But I will mention once again, that doesn't mean that they are weaker than the other players, it just means that this wasn't their tournament. So I will leave you on that note. This is pretty much it for this video. I'm really looking forward to the last 2 rounds of the candidates. I will definitely cover games tomorrow and on Tuesday from the tournament, just to see essentially who will challenge Magnus on the end of the year. And that being said, I would like to thank you for watching this video, and I will see you next time.